Today we have Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which was released on November 22nd, 1974. It has 23 songs, and it's a whopping 94 minutes long. All titles composed, arranged, and performed by Genesis, and most of the lyrics by lead singer Peter Gabriel, although that's not in the lighter notes. And that's a departure from previous albums because I think it's well known that everybody in Genesis contributed to the lyrics and the music. The music in this case mostly composed by the others: Hackett, Collins, Rutherford, and Banks. Although there's some exceptions, Carpet Crawlers being one of them. The album cover is by Hypnosis. It's like these three photographs or photoshopped images. I don't know if that's real or what's going on here, but this is a 2008 digital remaster and stereo mix by Tony Collins of Metropolis Mastering, and it was released on Rhino Atlantic Records, 2008. The liner notes and the gatefold contains the story of Real and all the lyrics. It's very small print and difficult to read. And I think the story here is about 10 pages long. I read through it. I read through it yesterday for sure, just so it would be fresh in my mind. But look at how tiny the lyrics are. And you've got these little pictures like, this one. And I don't really understand how they have to do with the story. And then in the back, let's see if there's a photo of the band in here. There isn't. But you got the CD1 and CD2. And all the credits, which I just pulled from, and then more pictures on the back. Okay, and I was expecting to see a picture of the band, but the back of the CD case looks like this, and you got the names of the songs, which I really don't like when they do that because I want to see like number 1, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, number 2, Fly in a Windshield, but that's not how it's arranged. It was very difficult for me to process something like that. By the way, I got this on February 12th, 2025. This is new to me. And it came with Foxtrot and Nursery Crime and some other ones. And it is new. The label looks like this. It says the Charisma label, and it's got this guy on it. And there's some weird stuff on here. There's like I don't know if it's a fox or a porcupine or what, and a rabbit. But it just looks kind of cheap to me, the way they printed these labels on. But that's okay. It sounds great. I mean, they did a really great job on the remix. What does it sound? It sounds like prog art, prog rock art. Big keyboards, very bombastic at times. Even though I read about some of the turbulent times that are happening to the members of the band, this sounds like a unified effort, despite what you hear. And you know that this is the last Peter Gabriel album for Genesis, so there's some stuff going on in the background that are pulling things apart at the seams. But there's a really good mix of proggy style songs on this album in the style of Foxtrot and Selling England by the Pound, and not quite so too proggy, but proggy enough. And additionally, some really pop-flavored songs with traditional verse, chorus, bridge type songs. And the prog songs are built around the verses that change over the course of the song as the song develops and advances. And, the pop songs are just pop songs. So they're not quite in the 80s, 90s Genesis pop flavor, but you can see them trending in that direction. The background is the story of Real. It doesn't make any sense, at least not to me. But it's Real, Broadway, the Lamb, John, his brother, the Lamia, the Slipperman, Doctor, the Ravine, the Ravine, and it's just a strange story. And I don't know if it has a true beginning, middle, and end. But the focus of these videos, I don't really delve into the story too much. But it's supposed to be like a double disc rock opera type thing. Kind of like the Who Tommy, but and of course this is what year is it? 1974. It's 5 years before the Wall. So they're definitely trend-setting here and doing something newer. And they wanted to do a big concept album, so the Nursery Crime and Selling England and Foxtrot aren't really concept albums, but this one is. It's a story, but does the story make sense? I don't know. I don't think so. There's an odd mix of songs in terms of the length of the song. I talked about the poppiness and the progginess, but 7 of the songs are 5 minutes or longer. 3 of the songs are 4 minutes. And what I mean by that is less than 5 minutes, but more than 4 minutes. So 4 minutes to 4 minutes and 59 seconds. 5 are 3 minute songs, or 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 59 seconds. But there's a whopping 7 songs that are 2 minute songs, from 2 minutes to 2 minutes and 59 seconds. And I could guess why it's like that, because maybe they needed more material to fill up 94 minutes. But there's definitely some things going on here and how the band is evolving moving forward. Genesis is very transitional in the different stages of the life of Genesis. And this might be very well be the beginning of one of their transitional stages. But what that means is 12 out of 23 songs are in the 2 to 3 minute range. And In the Cage is 8 minutes and 15 seconds. That's the longest song. And The Colony of Slippermen is second at 8 minutes and 13 seconds. The singles are Counting Out Time and Carpet Crawlers. They both failed to chart. And, my point of view is the second disc is generally better than the first disc, at least it's more enjoyable for me to listen to. Just overall, my picks or the standout tracks on the album are Fly on a Windshield, Broadway Melody of 1974, which is really one song. In the Cage, Back in New York City, The Chamber of 32 Doors, Lilywhite Lilith, Here Comes the Supernatural Anaesthetist. It's a mouthful to say. Ravine, and Riding the Scree. And the filler tracks are Cuckoo Cocoon, The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, Out Time, and Hairless Heart, maybe. It's an instrumental. Shout out to YouTuber Genesis Piano Transcriber for the music theory analysis and charting out each of these songs for piano, flute, bass, etc. It really helps me wrap my head around it. What's going on, and I do look at the sheet music when I'm listening to the album. Not all the time, because sometimes I'm just walking around, but I did that a lot. And to the people at genius.com, I've developed some habits over the years of doing these album reviews, and one thing I like to do is look at the lyrics and the song structure, and I like to look at that while I'm analyzing the songs, but what I've realized over the last year now is I don't really trust Genius anymore. And it was better off. I spent a lot of time just redoing it because I ended up just looking at what's in the liner notes, which is difficult for me because it's such a small print. But I think in the future, I'm not even going to look at the Genius stuff anymore because, people label stuff wrong and they don't know what they're talking about, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about either, but I think I'd probably do a better job than those guys of thinking about what's going on in the music and, what the arrangement of stuff is. And that's one of the reasons why this took me so long to do, not just because it's such a massive amount of songs at, I think 23 songs, but I had to redo a lot of my analysis as I went along. So I just wasted some time at the beginning. And it's actually a lot easier for me to look in the lyrics book and do it that way. The first song is The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's 4 minutes and 52 seconds. The album opens with Furious Piano, which gives the listener a clue as to what kind of album this is, fast and frantic. And it's a good start, even if I don't love the song. And this is the title track to the album, so it kind of sets up the whole thing. The song arrangement is verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, chorus, outro. And it's less a chorus than a traditional chorus where you're singing about the emotions of the song, but it's more like a refrain where you have a couple of bars where you're just singing The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's in the key of E minor or G major, and a lot of these songs are actually. So G major and E minor is E minor is the variant of, it's a minor variant of G major, so a lot of the overlapping chords. But a lot of these songs are in that key. And it's 126 beats per minute. The intro and the lamb lies down on Broadway. It lasts about 53 seconds, and then there's this big do 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 do. The verse, early morning, Manhattan ocean winds blow on the land. The movie palace is now undone. The all-night watchmen have had all their fun. It's 18 bars, and you got a lot of songs in this album, where Peter Gabriel is just going on and he's singing these really long extended verses. To me, 18 bars is that's a long verse. You know, I think 16 bars is a long verse, but 12 or 16 is a sweet spot, but he kind of extends them out. The chorus or refrain or whatever you want to call it, and the lamb lies down on Broadway. It's like a big crescendo, like a big emotional moment. It's a 5-bar. And then the bridge, the lamb seems right out of place, yet the Broadway street scene. It's a slow tempo, 12 bars. And there's no solos. There's no guitar solo, no keyboard solo. And there's an outro which goes from 4:24 to the end. And that's pretty much how this album is going to go. But some of these longer songs have more opportunities to explore. This one, fairly pop-oriented. Track 2 is Fly on a Windshield. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds. To me, it's the best song on the first disc. At least when you combine it with the next track. But the song opens with guitar strumming and some awesome mellotron. This it's like a choir singing the mellotron noise. It's also in the key of E minor, so same as the last. But what happens is, and when you look at the sheet music from Genesis Piano Transcriber, I think he included Broadway Melody of 1974 in the same sheet music as Fly on a Windshield, because the Broadway Melody sheet music is missing. And there's a dramatic key change, so from measure 44 to 58, it goes to A flat or F minor, And I think that's where the Broadway Melody starts. It's 136 beats per minute. A lot of the song is scored in 8/4 or 9/4, and there's something solid forming in the air, and the wall of death is lowered in Times Square. That's the intro, and it's about 4 bars. And then the verse is No One Seems to Care, 38 bars. The outro starts at the 1:24 section, part of the song. And this is where the song really picks up momentum, and it turns into a big, grand instrumental led mostly by Hackett and then Banks, and the grandiosity of the organs. And that segues perfectly into Broadway Melody of 1974, which is 2 minutes and 11 seconds. A perfect segue into the next song. And I really did thought it was one song. And Steve Hackett, in his shows, he plays it as one song. But I thought it was one song when I was walking around listening to it on my iPod back in February and March. The da-dot, da-dot. That's pretty much the music for Broadway Melody. It's in F minor, 70 beats. The verses echoes of the Broadway Everglades with her mythical Madonna still walking in their shades. It's 24 bars. The second verse is the part that starts the Ku Klux Klan. That's 24 bars plus a few bars, and then the outro is it's starting at 1:40 seconds. Some really pretty mellotron sounds and guitar plucking during the outro. Track 4 is Cuckoo Cocoon. It's 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and this is the first filler song on the album. It's not a skip because it's only 2 minutes, so you just blast your way through it. But it doesn't really do much. It's verse, chorus, flute solo, verse, chorus, flute solo. It's again in G or E minor, 75 beats, mostly 4/4 time. The verse wrapped up in some powdered wool. I guess I'm losing touch. It's 12 bars. So Real's undergoing some kind of transformation here. Okay, that's what's happening. The chorus is Cuckoo Cocoon. Have I come too soon for you? It's 4 bars. And then there's 2 flute solos that I mentioned. One at 1 minute and 1 second to 1:26 seconds. It's flute on top of arpeggiated guitars. Still no percussion sounds, and it's 25 seconds total. And the flute solo number 2 is 1 minute 50 seconds to 2:12, and right to the end of the song, Cuckoo Cocoon. Track 5 is called In the Cage. It's 8 minutes and 12 seconds. The first 10 seconds sound like a heartbeat. This song has a raging six synth solo in the third minute, and this is also one of the best songs on the album. Probably the second best song on disc 1. And it's verse, 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 synth solo, bridge, synth solo, verse, verse, outro. It is a key change here in D, and it's noticeable, or B minor if it's a minor, whatever. But it starts in 12/8 time and 65 beats per minute. There's some measures in G flat, measures 16 to 25, and then A flat measures 26 to 32, and there's an E flat from bars 33 to 46, 120 beats per minute and 4/4 time. So this song's really doing a lot, and it's I'm guessing probably constructed in sections like that. The intro, I got sunshine in my stomach, like I just rocked my baby to sleep. It's 12 bars before it turns into real deep synth sounds. And the verses, rock face moves to press my skin, white liquids turn sour within. It's 8 bars. The verse usually ends with a refrain like, in the cave, get me out of this cave. It's 4 bar. It's like a 4-bar refrain. Verse 2, if I keep self-control, is 16 bars in waltz time, like 3/4, or if you think of 12/8 time, that's really what 12/8 time is. It's got that waltz kind of feel. Verse 3, stalactites, stalagmites, 16 bars plus the in the cage at the end in 3/4 time. Verse 4 is, in the glare of a light, I see a strange kind of sight. Of cages joined to form a star, each person can't go very far. It's 16 bars. The keyboard solo is runs at starting at 3:09. It switches to a more traditional 4/4 beat type thing, and Banks rips away one of his great synth solos. It's on an ARP Pro Soloist synth, I believe, and the song changes around the 4-minute 20-second mark. The bridge, for lack of a better word, we'll just call it a bridge. Outside the cage, I see my brother John. He turns his head so slowly around 20. It's 22 bars, and the synth solo, the second one, runs from 5:25 to 5:32. This time it's quicker and in the 3/4 time. And then the outro is Keep on Turning part. It's about the final minute of the song, but In the Cage is really cool. And I think Rael's like, I don't know, has he jailed himself, or who knows? Track 6, The Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, is 2 minutes and 46 seconds. This song is also filler. It starts with a train whistle, an organ, and Peter singing. And it's verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, outro. So just, nothing special going on here. It's in D or B minor. A lot of key and chord changes in the song, especially at the end of the song. It's at 85 beats per minute. And the verse is, it's the last great adventure left of mankind. Screams a drooping lady offering her dream dolls. It's 8 bars. And then the chorus is from the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging, all ready to use, 4 bars. The outro starts at 1 minute 50 seconds to the end, so about just less than a minute. And the decor on the ceiling, that's the Grand Parade of Lifeless Packaging. Track 7 is Back in New York City, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. This is a good song. It starts with a thumping bass, da-dum, da-dum, and then it turns into bump, ba-da-da-da-da, bump, da-da-da-da-da, bump, ba-da-da-da-da. Verse, 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 outro is a song structure. We're back in that E minor key, 120 beats per minute. It's 9/8 or 7/8 time. So the 9/8s have that more like, I guess, waltz type feel. And moving all over the place, but a lot of the song is in 7/8. So you're literally counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Although slower than what I just counted. But the verse, so you think I'm a tough kid? Is that what you heard? About 34 bars of 7/8. But I think there are like 9/8 bars in there too. So yeah, I count them in like that. But it's very rhythmic and expected to adjust for those 9/8 bars. So easy to count. The verse 2 is, but I know it's me that's hitting out, and I'm not full of shit. About 30 bars. And then verse 3 is, you're sitting in your comfort, you don't believe I'm real. About 19 or 20 bars in 7/8 time. And the outro, As I cuddle the porcupine, he said I had none to blame but me. It's 10 bars in 7/8, plus some additional bars at the end to the segue to the next song. That's kind of how it goes. Track 8 is Hairless Heart, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. It's only 51 total measures or bars. It's in F major at 60 beats and 4/4. There's really 3 parts to this song. It's very synth heavy, but the intro part, or part 1, it runs from the beginning to 45 seconds. It's just this real simple, with the synth background and a lead guitar. In part 2, it runs from 46 seconds to 1 minute and 17 seconds. It's like the grandiosity picks up with percussion and synth. And then in part 3, that runs from 1 minute and 18 seconds to 2:10, the end. It's grander, but more keyboards. The lead guitar and the synth are sharing, and they're playing the lead lick back and forth, and that's the Hairless Heart. It's like an escape from the story, where you just get a couple minutes of music, and it's not a skip, but it's not really important to the album. Track 9 is Counting Out Time. It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds. This is the Erogenous Zone I Love You song. This song is filler, and it's also one of the sex songs on the album. It's a verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, guitar solo, verse, chorus. It's in key of E flat or C minor, which is you don't see that very often. 92 beats and 4/4 time. The verse, I'm counting out time, got the whole thing down by numbers, all those numbers. It's 9 bars. And then the chorus, Erogenous Zones, I love you. Without you, what would a poor boy do? It's like 4 bars. And then the bridge, found a girl I want to date, 12 bars, switching between 4/4 and 3/4 time. And then the guitar solo is just... It's 8 bars of weirdness. I don't, for lack of a better description. Track 10 is Carpet Crawlers. It's 5 minutes and 15 seconds. The song is peppered with 16th notes all the way through the song. This song is also formulaic, and from what I read on Genius, was written by Gabriel separately from the group. He wrote the words and the music. There's no solo spots in this song, and there also isn't really any room to enjoy in the song. It just, What's weird about it is they played it it's on the live album Seconds Out, so I know they like to play it in concerts. But Hackett plays some nice stuff in the background, but that's about it about Carpet Crawlers. It's verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, outro. It's in E major and then switches to D major. It's a fast tempo in 4/4 time. And those 16th notes are da 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 all throughout the song, and it's like a rhythm. There's lamb's wool under my naked feet. The wool is soft and warm, gives off some kind of heat. It's 48 bar verse, and then the chorus is the carpet crawlers heed their callers. We've got to get in to get out. It's 16 bars, and the exception here is the first verse is 48 bars. All the other verses are 16 bars. That's the tune. Track 11 is The Chamber of 32 Doors, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. This song opens in grand style with some lead guitar and organ, and I like this song, and Peter sings with emotion. It's not filler, and it contributes, it advances the album. It's in B major or G sharp minor. However, it's moving all over the place, including a random B minor chord in the 26 bars. It's verse, 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 bridge, verse, 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 bridge. So very simple song structure. The first verse, at the top of the stairs, there's hundreds of people running around to the doors. It's 16 bars at a fast tempo. The second verse is the rich man stands in front of me, the poor man behind me, behind my back. It's 8 bars, slow tempo. And then the verse 3, I need someone to believe in, someone to trust, 8 bars, slow tempo. So you got like a fast tempo verse and then 2 slow tempo verses. And then the bridge, I'd rather trust a country man than a town man. And it's 24 bars slow tempo and some more slow bars to drag it out. But the way Peter Gabriel sings the I'd rather trust a country man than a town man. He's got some good emotion to it, and it's a memorable song. Put it that way. That's the end of disc 1. It's a long album to get through. Disc 2 starts with Lilywhite Lilith, 2 minutes and 45 seconds, the first track. And this is a catchy song to start side 2. For a Genesis song, this has a rockin' beat and a driving beat, and fairly proggy too. And the first chorus, there's a quick 4 bars of lead guitar to transition to the next verse. The mellotron is cranking through each verse, and especially the bars before the intro. It's a verse, chorus, outro. It's in B flat or G minor, and 80 beats per minute in 4/4. The verse, the chamber was in confusion, all the voices shouting lead, 8 bars. And the chorus, Lilywhite Lilith, she gonna take you through the tunnel of night, it's 6 bars. And then the outro, she leaves me in my darkness, I have to face my fear, starts around 1 minute 50 seconds to the end. About 19 bars or there, so or whereabouts. But it's a outstanding start to the second disc. The second track on disc 2 is The Waiting Room, 5 minutes and 22 seconds. During the recording, they called it the Evil Jam. The whole song is only 59 bars, as scored by Eric Johnson, Genesis piano transcriber. The song starts with a bunch of chimes, scary sound, and mellotron strings, and it is very scary. It's not filler. It's key of G major, 90 beats, 12/8, and instrumental. I don't know how he did that, but the song is it's really a lot of noise. Part 1 runs to 3 minutes and 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Bunch of scary sounds, a la Dark Side of the Moon on the Run. Okay, and then part 2 from 3 minutes and 9 seconds until the end. Over 2 minutes of percussion, keyboards, organs, guitar, and just lighter, happier, less scary music. Ambient, creepy, scary, not happy. And I think Rael's he's going to hell, or yeah. After Lilywhite Lilith, he's going to hell. He's in the waiting room waiting for hell. That's it. Track 3 is Anyway, 3 minutes and 8 seconds. This song starts with a piano introduction for about a minute, and it's verse, break, verse. It's in F major at 78 beats per minute in 4/4. The first verse is all the pumping's nearly over for my sweetheart. This is the one for me. It's 13 bars. And then the second verse, anyway, they say she comes on a pale horse, but I'm sure I hear a train. It's 14 bars. And then there's a break at 1 minute 26 seconds. Piano, and then big dun, 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 dun. Guitar solo starts at about 1 minute 58 seconds to 2 minutes and 19 seconds, so about 21 seconds total. Sounds like an effect, like an echo effect, or a double track on it. That kind of deal. Almost like 2 guitars. The third verse, I feel the pull on the rope. Let me off at the rainbow, I could have been exploding in space. It's 12 bars, and the song ends with an organ chord. Track 4 is Here Comes the Supernatural Anaesthetist at 3 minutes long. This is where Rael meets death. And most of the song is dedicated to the long guitar solo jam section, which starts from 28 seconds until the end. But dot guitar solo, and there's a verse outro. It's in the key of D major, 60 beats per minute, mostly in 4/4 time. And the one verse is about 4 bars total at 60 beats per minute. Here comes the supernatural anaesthetist. If he wants you to snuff it, all he has to do is puff it. He's such a fine dancer. And the solos and other organ sounds that the last 40 seconds, very proggy, reminds me of the best progginess, really. Track 5 is the Lamia, 6 minutes and 57 seconds. Rael finally meets the Lamia. The song is dominated by the organs and keyboards. Peter's vocals are in the music rather than on top of it, so he's like submerged in the music. It's verse, bridge, piano, verse, bridge. And it's in B flat, G sharp minor, then changes to E flat or C minor at bar 37, then to F major at bar 49, then again at bar 67, A flat, F minor. It's 120 beats per minute, 4/4 time. The scent grows richer. He knows he must be near. He finds a long passageway lit by chandelier. 16 bars. And the bridge is Rael stands astonished, doubting his sight, struck by beauty, gripped in fright. 26 bars. He's meeting the Lamia, which is like it's a lizard creature, but it looks like a woman. And there's the piano spot goes from 212 to 244, about 32 seconds. Doot 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 doot. And then there's a lot of good organ, that mellotron sound in this song. Probably it's a mellotron. The outro, looking behind me, the water turns icy blue. The lights are dimmed, and once again, and the stage is set for you. It's 5 minutes and 47 seconds to the end of the song is the outro instrumental, which has a lead guitar line sitting on top of all the organs. There's a strong, hard, fast fade out in the last 3 seconds, like kind of abrupt it ends. Track 6 is Silent Sorrow in Empty Boats, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. There isn't sheet music, but I think this is the second and third parts of the Lamia. So the whole E flat to F to A flat parts. It's 120 beats per minute. It's instrumental, and part 1 is 29 seconds. The whole big mellotron comes back, and then it comes back again in the final 20 seconds. But I think what's happening here is Rael is this is a traveling song, and he's on his way to the colony of Slipperman, which is track 7. It's 8 minutes and 13 seconds. And if you already thought this was a weird story, it gets weirder. So this song has 3 parts. The Arrival is the first part. A Visit to the Doctor is the second part. And The Ravine is the third part. It's about to get crazy. So the key of F sharp major or D sharp minor. Coda 1 is in E major, and measure 32 and on is in B flat in 3/2 time, which is very unusual to see 3/2 time. Which the measure at 69 starts in C major in 12/8 time, which is that waltz type feel. Bar 95 changes to F major, and at bar 101 it switches to 7/4 time, which is like, think of the song 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. This got a weird cadence, and the song ends in E major, 120 beats per minute. That's the Ravine, and it's 12/8 and 3/2 time again. So let's piece through these 3 parts. The Arrival, triplets galore in 12/8 time and in F sharp major, 120 beats per minute for each of these triplets. The Arrival starts with a bunch of weird sounds. Something that sounds like it could be a sitar, but I don't think it's a sitar. The intro lasts about 1 minute 47 seconds, and then the keyboards and percussion. It's intro, verse, verse, verse. The first verse, Rael, I wandered lonely as a cloud till I came up upon this dirty street. It's 18 bars. And then verse 2, Rael, his skin's all covered in slimy lumps with lips that slide across each chin. It's 8 bars. I mean, they're singing about their commonality between Rael and the Slipperman, and they have some sort of venereal disease. The verse 3 is Slipperman, we like you have tasted love. Don't be alarmed at what you see. So the Slippermen are explaining to Rael how they all have the same VD. Verse 4 is Rael and Slipperman. It's 7 bars. Rael sings me like you like that, 8 bars, and then the Slipperman, you better watch it, son, 8 bars-ish. And when the Slipperman sings, it's like they've done something to Peter Gabriel's voice, so you know it's the Slipperman singing. But the Slipperman isn't. It's a concoction of Genesis, which the Lamia is like a real. It's like a real monster that has its roots in Greek mythology and other scary stories of medieval times and such. But the Slipperman is something that the group came up with for this album. There's no Greek mythological or Roman mythological story behind the Slipperman. It's just the people with VD that had an encounter with the Lamia. The second part is a visit to the doctor. The da 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 da, that's back, and it starts at 3 minutes and 29 seconds. It's not the same as the Carpet Crawlers, but you get the gist. It's less than a minute. The visit to the doctor is less than a minute long total. I think this is the section of the song that is in B flat major with all the quadruplets. And the Slipperman, you're in the colony of Slipperman, it's 8 bars, and Real sings, John and I are able to face the doctor in his marble table, 4 bars. And then the doctor says, understand, Real, that's the end of your tale, it's 4 bars. And Real says, don't delay, dock the dick. I watch this countdown timer tick. It's 4 bars, and there's a ripping noise. And I think they've cut off his winky. And then the third part is the Ravine. It's 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Starts at about 4:17 and runs to the end of the song. So about 4 minutes long. And this is a real dramatic part of the song. Real sings, he places the number into a tube. It's a yellow plastic shoobadoob. 16 bars. And there's a keyboard solo after that, which runs from 4:51 to 5:37. And I'm laughing because of how ridiculous it is. Banks lets it rip with a cool synth solo, about 46 seconds total, and one of his better solos. And then Real, the Raven brings on darkness, and night flies. He flies right down. Give me one hell of a fight. It's 66 beats long. It's too hard to count in bars, so it's just 66 beats. And John, now can't you see where the Raven flies? There's jeopardy. It's 28 beats. Real, he walks away and he leaves me once again, even though I never learn. It's 24 beats, and then the slow, some concern part. And then Real, the fourth part, I'm in the agony of slipper. Pain, I pray my undercarriage will sustain. It's 64 beats, very fast tempo again. And then Real, the fifth time, I'm on top of a bank. Too steep to climb. I see it hit the water just in time. 56 beats. The Raven has stolen the yellow tube that contains his winker and drops it into the ravine. Track 8 is the Ravine. It's 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Opens with wind and a shrill whistle. It's very scary. It's psychedelic. It's very Pink Floydish. It's in F sharp minor and 94 beats per minute. The instrumental starts out with a wind and some trippy synth sounds. There's something else going on in the background too, next to the synth. It's just a really airy, synthy, scary, creepy track that it's better than most of these types of tracks that attempt to do this. Think, if you've ever heard Danzig Black Area or Black Area 2, but much better than that. And 1,000 times better than that. Just really awesome instrumental. And in the last 15 seconds, there's a whistle again that gently fades away. Track 9 is The Light Lies Down on Broadway, 3 minutes and 32 seconds. This is essentially a reprise of the title track, the lead track of the album. However, it picks up where Ravine left off with the shrill whistle, and it's an E major. The coda appears to be an A major, and there's 6 bars in G flat. It's 98 beats. So it's different from the opening track and the way they put it together, because there's a key change in it. I don't think that opening track has a key change, if I'm remembering correctly from the beginning. But the verse, refrain, if you look in the lyrics book, it seems like it's 2 short verses and 1 long verse of 24 bars. In the first case, then the verses are 10 and 14 bars respectively. Okay, so either it's 1 24-bar verse or a verse of 10 and 14 bars. The verse is, as he walks along the garage's edge, he meets a sense of yesteryear. It's 24 bars. And then the refrain is, and the light dies down on Broadway. It's 4 bars. And there's no solos or jamming in the song. Just the outro is 45 seconds long, where they noodle on the refrain music and it fades out with a trippy synth. Pretty cool, actually, at the end. Track 10 is Riding the Scree, 3 minutes and 57 seconds. This track has some excellent synth at the beginning. And interesting choices being made by Banks on the second half of this album. I usually think of Banks as an organ or a mellotron player, but he's dialed up the Moog sounding synth solos. The opening jam of the song goes until 2 minutes and 10 seconds. It's in D major or B minor with key changes at bar 25 in B major. There's that B major again. And then at bar 28 in A major. It's 50 beats per minute, so very slow tempo in 9/8. And it's intro, verse, outro. The verse, struggling down the slope, there's not much hope. About 46 beats. And it ends with the line, Evel Knievel, you got nothing on me, which to me really dates the song. There's a lot of things on this album that date the album, like singing about Evel Knievel and Winston cigarettes and that kind of stuff. It's definitely a 70s era. It's really dates it. The outro of the song is another jam, really organ heavy with Hackett playing this arpeggiated guitars underneath. Track 2, disc 2, track 11 is In the Rapids, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This song is a acoustic or at least soft sounding song. It has an odd meter and the time keeps changing. It's verse, verse, verse. It's in E major, 55 beats per minute slow. The first verse is moving down the water. It's like 18 beats. And then the second verse, striking out to reach you, I can't get through to the other side, 32 beats. And then the third verse, taken down, it's 24 beats. And then verse 4, we hold together, 40 beats. That's In the Rapids. The final track is track 12 on disc 2. It's called It. It's 4 minutes and 14 seconds. They bring back G major or E minor, and it goes back and forth with D major. It's a fast tempo in 4/4. E minor's got to be the dominant key of the album, and it begins and ends there. It's a fast tempo 4/4, intro, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, outro. The intro, when it's cold, it comes slow, 10 bars. Then the chorus, it is here, it is now, 4 bars. And then the first verse, just a little bit of it can bring you up or down, 16 bars. The verses aren't all 16 bars, but they're close enough. The pre-chorus, it is the jigsaw, it is purple haze, 12 bars. The outro, it is real, it is real, 'cause it's only knock and Noel, but I like it. At least that's what it says in the lyrics. I think it's a deliberate borrowing from the Rolling Stones. And I think he's actually singing, it's only rock and roll, but I like it. But in the lyrics, it says, it's only knock and Noel, but I like it. Yeah. It's actually really hard for me to read, but it's right here. Can you see that? It's kind of a ho-hum ending to the album, singing about it. And I'm not really sure what's happened to Real. But that's the end of the album. Kind of a ho-hum ending. And it's over. And to listen to this from beginning to end is an effort. 94 minutes is long. It's long for a studio album, and you've really got to work through it. There's a lot of filler, and it's you're not really rewarded by the time you get to the end. There isn't like a huge climax, or there isn't a big payoff or dividend. You're just you're at the end of the album. In summary, the sales. It got to number 10 in the UK, number 41 on the US Billboard 200, and it made gold in the US, and it made gold in the UK and France and Canada too, and 750,000 total worldwide sales. That's pretty good. It's not a million, but 750 is not too shabby. Anyone now would take that. Proggarchives.com gives it a 4.31. That's number 40 in the top 100, which, okay, lower than Nursery Crime, lower than Selling England by the Pound, and lower than Foxtrot. But I think number 40, for the amount of filler that's in here, it's kind of surprising to me that it's that high. But maybe you guys love it. Allmusic.com gives it 5 stars. It's Stephen Thomas Erlewine, who's their main, he's like their main guy. In a nutshell, he says the story doesn't make sense, but the music is Genesis's most immediate music to date. And Genesis shines on the first half and the band on the second half. And I cut the latter statement there. I agree with, although you can feel Gabriel pulling apart from the band. And like I read a lot of weird stuff about what was going on with Peter Gabriel and the band at the time, and they were upset with him about different things. Like they had made instrumental music, and then he would write lyrics and sing over it during production, and that would upset the band. And he was trying to deal with his wife, who had just had a baby, and I guess it was kind of there was some complications with the delivery, and so he was going back and forth. They were in Wales, and he was going back and forth, and the band didn't give him very much space, or how can I say this? They weren't very accommodating for what he was going through, I guess is a good way to put it. Rolling Stone gives it 4 stars. And I couldn't find a good write-up, but 4 stars is pretty good from the Rolling Stone, considering it's very proggy, and they don't really reward prog bands too often. But for me, this is like a pretty solid record. I know the first time I listened to it, I didn't like it, and I didn't appreciate all the filler. But I see how the filler fits in with the album. But did they add this filler just to get it to 2 discs, or I'm not sure why they did it. But maybe they just had so much material that they wanted to get onto the album. But for me, it's definitely not my favorite, but it over the last week, for sure, when I started listening to it a lot, it's grown on me a bit. Some of these songs I really like Fly in a Windshield and Back in NYC. So I dig it. I dig a lot of it. In the Cage. I wish I understood the story better, and like The Wall, I wish there was like a movie to it. Maybe then I would understand it better. And then maybe if it made more sense to me mentally, then maybe I could get into the music more. But well, let's just leave it at that. Okay, you probably love it. Next up on the channel is Kiss Paul Stanley, and then after that, we'll do Trick of the Tail by Genesis. And I'm gearing up for some specials too, like my favorite Yes songs and my favorite Rush songs and the best Mellotron songs and things like that. So like, subscribe, comment, share. I'm out.